Hello and welcome to the 10th anniversary edition of Out and About. I'm Diane Gonzalez and I'm joined as usual by the two people who've been here since the beginning. Of course, Jeff Mall is with the Convention and Visitors Bureau. And Tom Lorenz, when you first started coming here, we were talking about events at Pershing Center.
That's right.
Now, of course, it's Pinnacle Bank Arena and Pinewood Bowl.
And, anything else that we can find outside to do stuff at. So
That's right.
It's been great.
But make sure it begins with a P.
That's right. Yep.
There we go.
Yep.
All right. We have cake today with the 10. We can't light these candles because we're in
the studio.
City Hall.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But
We'll pretend.
And then we have sparkling cider. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. 10
Cheers.
years.
Cheers, guys. There we
go.
Outstanding.
At this time, 10 years ago, we were getting ready for the arena vote the next May. And of course, the arena has really been the big game changer. First show, Michael Bublé.
That's right. He came in and opened us up, and it was a wonderful time. And if you go back to the vote, I remember how exciting that was. And the excitement was in there. The night we got the results for the vote back, and it was a strong yes vote for the arena. And then a lot of hard work really started again. There's a lot that led up to it. But it's been a wonderful ride, and
Yes,
Lincoln
it
has
has.
been amazing. I don't think people understood what a great market this was before, and it has been super strong since then. We get to work with wonderful people at the CVB, and we do a lot of events with them, and it's just been outstanding to be part of Lincoln's growth.
What are some of the arena highlights for you?
Well, for me, there's been so many different concerts. I still remember that first 80 days that we were open, we did 10 concerts in a row.
Wow.
And went from Bublé, and we had Elton John, and we had Bon Jovi, and all these different shows, and we were just really kind of trying to catch our breath between them. Basketball season went well. We've done our first dirt events in there with Monster Jam and Rodeo. We've done the Governor's Ball a couple of times, and there's been really nice things we get to do. We get to do flat shows and all these other kind of things. Elton John was certainly a big one, but Paul McCartney has to be the biggest show that we've ever done.
Yeah.
To have a Beatle there and to have him, and there was so much celebration around it. Elton's been there. We've had Billy Joel, and there's show after show that we just keep thinking can't get better, and it does. So it's been great.
Yeah, and I think one thing that I think about a lot too with Pinnacle Bank Arena is the fact that there were people in the community that were doubting, was this going to work? The vote no for the arena people, and how quick it was to turn those folks around on the economic impact and
That's
what
right.
it really was doing for our community. But I think too about our ability to go recruit events like USA Volleyball. They had their Olympic qualifier here in the Olympic qualifying year. To be able to retain and bring back state high school championships with the NSAA. And
Definitely.
that building has done so much for our community, but I want to be quick to throw back my kudos for Tom, his entire team, for being very open to doing some of the non-traditional things that typically you don't see other arenas do in other markets. And I think our relationship we have between our two organizations is something I think a lot of people are envious about.
It really is. My peers don't have such a great people to work with at their CVBs, and Jeff and his whole staff has just been outstanding. And you really hit on one important part, that it wasn't just the arena that was a big part of it. It's the development that happened around that.
Oh, yeah.
When we looked initially, there was 3 or 4 open blocks, and we thought they would probably stay open for a long time.
Right.
But yet we had so much growth that came up along with the arena, and to have the rail yard, and then eventually to get the Olson Associates building and Huddle and all the other things that are around there really, really makes a difference. And it was not at the cost of other parts of town. It is its own standalone area, and the rest of Lincoln continued to grow with us.
All right. Now, you mentioned one Beatle at the arena. You've also had a Beatle out at Pinewood Bowl, and that's a whole new, also new in the last 10 years. When was the first concert at Pinewood Bowl?
So it was in 2012 when we first did it. This was our 7th season. Our first concert was Counting Crows, and it was really a lot of fun to do. We had been looking at that venue for so long, and the play was out there annually, and it wasn't overused by any means, and so we dreamed about being able to do that. Some things happened in the city that allowed us to put those things together, and it's just been kind of magic ever since then. We've done over 70 shows out there, and it is just a wonderful venue that people, that it's got a reputation in the industry that's second to none already. And now with the recent upgrades, it's just that much easier to bring shows. So it's been really, really fun. And you talk about a Beatle out there, to have Ringo there, and I got to meet Ringo backstage, and what a nice gentleman. And he is, he brought all his friends. He had Todd Rundgren and everyone else. And there's just been so many different things along with the annual play and along with some other things like Dog Bowl and some other marches and some other programs that happen there. Parks and Rec, those people over there are just outstanding, and it's just part of the city. I mean, I don't think people understand how great this city works together.
Right, and my favorite Pinewood Bowl show so far was Paul Simon.
Paul was terrific, and I think we talk about it later, but my bucket list one has always been, since the very beginning, Steely Dan, and that was the show we got to do, the last one. So.
All right. Jeff, what has the arena and all the development meant for you in terms of, you always say heads in beds,
You bet, you bet.
hotels, restaurants, the whole tourism scene here in Lincoln?
Well, I think so many people have had to realize that this isn't just so much about what we've been able to build around the arena with the rail yard. It's about the rising tide floats all ships type of mentality. And when we bring additional shows in and we recruit sporting events into Pinnacle Bank Arena and they have such a great time in the rail yard, what that's doing is that's transcending all borders in our community. It's going to South Lincoln and North Lincoln and West Lincoln, East Lincoln. People are discovering this new Lincoln. And all of the enhancements that Tom talked about, this growing talent base that we have down in the Haymarket and rail yard area, is really helping us be more exciting to college graduates. Our friends at the Chamber of Commerce, I'm happy to work alongside those folks every day. Our ability to be able to recruit additional talent is fun, but it's just been such a great thing for our community. We've gone to national trade shows. Everybody knows about Pinnacle Bank Arena. Everybody knows that Pinnacle Bank Arena didn't change Lincoln for the worse, it changed Lincoln for the better. There's more quality of life opportunities. So when it comes to recruiting events and talent and new employers to our community, they're looking at the arena, they're looking at the rail yard, but yet we've maintained the integrity of our entire community. We're still Lincoln. We didn't change to turn into a city that we never thought we could be. We're still a city, but we're turning the page as far as being a better destination. And it's been amazing. I'm not going to say let's go build another Pinnacle Bank Arena, but let's get behind what Tom is doing. I think it's up to us to fill the seats and tell our friends about it and just be a part of this whole rising tide type sensation that we have.
And you look at the development in the West Haymarket, let's not forget what happened at Devaney, now one of the best venues for volleyball.
You bet.
It is, and yeah, they repurposed that, and it is outstanding. It's another jewel in Lincoln's treasure chest of all these great venues. And it's not just us. I mean, people change the way they did things. They don't travel now to go see a concert in another city. They're able to see it here, and they go to the Zoo Bar, and they go to Bourbon, and they go to all the different venues around, and Bill at the Lead Center gets to do more and different things, and it's just been fun to be part of that whole picture of entertainment that happens here in Lincoln.
There have been some other great big moments over the last 10 years. I'm thinking about the National Special Olympics, State Games of America, Breslow Ice Center opening. So it's been an amazing decade.
Yeah, and to do 2010, you go back to 2010 is when we hosted Special Olympics in Lincoln and for the state of Nebraska, and that was an amazing event. Working with Dave Manerick and the Nebraska Sports Council to do the 2015 State Games of America. We worked with Tom on all of these events as far as his venues go, and the Breslow Ice Center, that whole West Haymarket up towards the Oak Lake area, in my opinion, has to be continued as far as a focus by our community, because that's where people want to be. When you come on I-180 into downtown Lincoln, what are some of the first things you see? Pinnacle Bank Arena, the skyline, but we got to keep growing that area, and it's just been an amazing ride. And the reviews, people go away thinking, we got to find a way to get back to Lincoln.
That's right.
Jeff and his folks do a great job getting it set up, coordinating the hotels, bringing things like Women of Faith and those type of things that we didn't get to do at the level that we get to do now. So it's been awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, now it's time for predictions. You mentioned growing that area around Oak Lake, between the Breslow Ice Center and Oak Lake. What are your predictions for the next 10 years, 2029?
There's a lot of things I'd love to predict, but I think I'm going to stay close to home with what we do at the Convention and Visitors Bureau as far as building the destination. And I truly believe that whole area in the West Haymarket going out towards Oak Lake and the Sun Valley street area, I think we've got to build a youth baseball and softball complex. I think that's got to be in our city's #1 focus as far as building the destination. Youth sports tourism is like a $15 to $16 billion industry annually in this country. People are traveling for youth sports. And what we hear when we travel with our kids is we want to go to communities where there's really cool things to do. We want to be in close proximity to an entertainment district. Being somewhere in that Oak Lake area with baseball and softball fields, you're within a walking distance to an arena and shopping and coffee shops and hotels, putting heads in beds, those types of things. But I think with youth sports comes our continued need for additional convention space. I know the comprehensive plan for the Downtown Lincoln Association included building a convention center. Those are, again, demand-generating destination type improvements that will only continue to put us on the map. And I really hope that it's not 10 years. I hope it's 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 years. And we just need to keep evolving and keep growing the destination, because Lincoln has always been a favorite place for people across the state, but we're now a regional destination, national and international.
All right. Next 10 years, what are we going to see in 2029?
I think we'll continue to try to expand and use maybe the festival space more and see some bigger outdoor shows and concerts there, and that starts to expand in the direction that Jeff is talking about. We love working with different organizations in town to put on some different concerts, like we work with the Bourbon to do the things out in front of Pershing at this point. And we'll continue to look for all those different opportunities where we can take our staff, our equipment, our expertise, and try to fit in there. Pinewood Bowl will just become that much more customer friendly out there. There's more amenities we'll put on the customer side, and that will continue to draw huge numbers and great talent to there. And we'll always look for those different opportunities about how we can work closer with Jeff and continue to find ways to do really good conferences and those large dinners. And I expect we'll see some political things here in the near future also, and that's something that we really haven't had the ability to do in the past. So we'll look forward to those type of opportunities, and hopefully we'll just continue to serve Lincoln as they would like us to do that.
And maybe an NCAA basketball game?
We just had that conversation with some officials today, and I think we'll see more and more of those things, especially as we gain more hotels and get the ability to meet the NCAA's needs. We can put those out in front of hotels ahead of time and have them work with us on the front end instead of trying to fit it in on the back end.
All right. Guys, it's been a great 10. On to another 10 years for Out and About. You'll stick around, won't you?
I don't have any plans to go anywhere. I mean, he might be the next coach of the Chicago Cubs. We don't know this at
that's
this
true.
point.
I mean, they're calling. I just haven't taken, yeah.
Well,
We'll see when that happens. Yeah.
good luck with that, Tom.
Yeah.
One more toast, guys.
All right. Diane, thank
We're
you
gonna-
so much for what you do for us, to give us the
Yes.
ability to put information out and all the support we get from the city and you.
It's a ton
Thank
of
you.
fun. Can't wait to eat the cake.
All right.
Tell your friends about
Cheers.
Out and About if you're watching out there. Tell them about this wildly popular television show.
In our minds.
I know.
All right.
Thanks.
Coming up, Tom will stay with us to talk about all things arena. And during the break, we're going to look at some information on the Lincoln Star schedule and also some fun running events coming up in the capital city. So stay with us. We are back with Tom Lorenz, and we're going to start talking about the opening night with Husker Hoops. That was something new this year.
That was
Looked like
amazing.
a lot of fun.
Oh, it was really a lot of fun. We were able to they did introductions of both teams. They introduced all the coaches. And, with all the new players that, particularly on the men's team and the new players that are coming in on the women's team, Amy Williams was able to get up and talk about them a little bit. Fred Hoiberg stood up and introduced his coaches and talked about the players, and we got to see a little bit of the personality for all of them. So it was really fun. We had probably 8,000 to 10,000 people that came, lots of video, lots of excitement, the great scrimmage that they did, and then they finished it off with a really cool concert. They had Rick Ross come in, and Rick shortly after he started called the players up on the stage, and so both the men's team and the women's team were able to kind of do selfies and dance along with them. It was a lot of fun. It gave everyone a chance to see the new floor and just to really get fired up for basketball. And you know, in a town that's pretty traditionally football based, it's great to see the excitement there for the basketball team. And we have 2 excellent coaches and coaching staffs, and it'll be an exciting season.
All right, well, the men's basketball team, they start with an exhibition against Doane on October 30th.
Right.
And then the women start with an exhibition against Rogers State on November 2nd. And then the schedule just takes off.
It really does. It fills up. You know, November is really full, and so is December of games. And then, you know, we have the Big Ten schedule now, and so we see that start. There's actually an early Big Ten game in December for each of the teams, and then they start rolling in January, February, and a little bit of March. And so we'll be in the midst of basketball season very, very quickly, and it's always a fun time. And it's just, you know, people can make a day of it. They can come outside, spend some time over in the rail yard first, you know, visit some of the shops that are around there, get something great to eat, come inside and see an excellent game, and then stay after a while. So it's really exactly what we'd hoped the arena would be, and the excitement is strong.
All right. Well, let's talk about the events you're going to fit in October before basketball season starts. Bob Dylan and his band will be back. They were last here at Pinewood.
They were out at Pinewood Bowl, and Bob put on a great show. It was one of his best shows out there. We're thrilled to have them come back to Pinnacle Bank Arena. They really wanted to focus on some college campuses, and so we fit the bill very nicely there. But Bob's coming in with his band. You know, he's been around in an icon for over 50 years. He has got so many great hits. He's not just a singer-songwriter, he's a poet, and he's an activist, and there's so much rolled into Bob that, you know, you have to see him. And so this will be a great opportunity for people to see an excellent concert by Bob and his band.
And I've been watching the country music series on PBS, and I did not know Bob Dylan and Johnny Cash were good friends.
They did, and I think they're just releasing an album of some of those things that they recorded together. And you know, they're both kind of outlaws there, and so there was some kindred spirit, and they're both so talented that it's so exciting to see all those little things weaving in and out. You think of Bob as folk and rock, but he had a lot of country roots, and at the end of his career, Johnny Cash had a lot of, you know, they took some of his songs and redid them, and worked with some really interesting artists, and they really crossed all the different lines on genres.
All right. Now, in our first segment, we were talking about the different events that the arena can host that Pershing Center couldn't. One was ice.
That's exactly it.
So Disney on Ice is coming.
So we have Disney on Ice. This will be the second time we've had them since we opened the arena, and this one's really exciting. This one is Worlds of Enchantment. You'll see some of your family's favorite Disney moments come to life. There'll be Lightning McQueen from Disney's Pixar. You'll dive into adventure with Ariel from Disney's Little Mermaid. The toys are back with Buzz, Woody, Jessie, and the Disney Pixar Toy Story gang. They're trying to escape from Sunnyside Daycare, so I mean that's exciting. And then we'll also have that wintry world of Anna and of Elsa, Olaf and Kristoff as they kind of deal with Frozen. So it's so exciting, and there'll be Mickey will come out and do some dance-along pre-show things. It's a fun event. Families love it. Great sight lines to all this stuff. We're doing 5 different performances, Thursday and Friday at 7 o'clock, 2 on Saturday, 1 at 11, kind of pre-game, and then Saturday at 7, and then another one at 1 p.m. on Sunday. So lots of opportunities for folks to come down, a wide range of ticket prices, and it's really fun to have them back.
And see some really good skaters.
They really are, and they're building the ice right now. So as we're filming this, they started to put the ice floor down today, and we'll have it cool in the building for a great ice show.
And then things will warm up for Miranda Lambert and Maren Morris, October 11th.
You know, this is the Roadside Bars and Pink Guitars Tour. Miranda out of Longview, Texas, celebrated singer-songwriter. This is, she's getting ready to release her 7th studio album. It'll be out later. And then Maren Morris, who is like the top country person out there now, opening up. It's great to have those two paired together. Maren won a Grammy Award for Best Country Solo Performance. Her hit song, My Church, went to the #1 top country albums, and ended up #5 on the Billboard 200 chart, which is all the different kinds of music genres. So this will be a great show. Miranda's bringing her group with her, Pistol Annies, and then Tennille Towns will also be there. So this is a great night of country music, and really, you know, it's an all-female show. This is going to be outstanding. It'll be a lot of fun.
And just a few days later, it's going to be time to rock out with Guns N' Roses.
And these guys got together in LA back about 1985. So we've got Axl, Slash, and Duff got together and came back out for their Not in This Lifetime tour. Great songs that you'll always remember from them. Songs like Welcome to the Jungle, Paradise City, Sweet Child of Mine. You know, at one time they were known as the most dangerous band in the world, and they haven't gone away from that too much. They're coming into Lincoln to rock down Lincoln.
Now, we talked a little bit about one of the things the arena is good for is not just basketball, not just concert, but also community events. And we want to talk a little bit about one that's coming up, the Lincoln Business Expo. This has really become a regional trade show.
It really has, and you know, we were talking with Jeff before, and Jeff and the Chamber of Commerce, you know, helped put this together. We're really proud to be part of that. It is one of the region's largest business trade shows. There's over 120 different businesses, door prizes from all the different businesses. We're going to do a craft beer tour and some sampling as part of it in the afternoon. If you come, you get a Lincoln t-shirt while supplies last. There's all kinds of activities that go on. It's really fun, and it's great to walk through and see not only new businesses, but all our friends that we do business with, and it's a great showcase for Lincoln.
All right. Pinewood Bowl has wrapped up. The final show was, of course, one of Tom's favorites, Steely Dan, and I heard it was an exceptional night.
It was so good. It's a band that, you know, it's not a rock band, it's not a jazz band, it's a little bit of everything, and they've been popular for so long. It is the best backup band I think we've ever had out there. The musicians were excellent. The sound was terrific. It was a gorgeous night, and it was a great way to end this season. We did 10 shows out there this season. Just before it, we did a Cody Johnson show, which is, he's really an up-and-coming country singer, a lot like a young Garth Brooks. And so we had a little bit of everything. We had Kids Bop, and we had Tenacious D, and so, I mean, it was really not just one type of music out there. We had a lot of different kinds, and that's what really I think people enjoy. And it's amazing after 7 years to still see, you know, somebody who hasn't been there before bringing a neighbor out and saying, I'll be back. So we really enjoy doing shows out there.
And you're working on the next season and some announcements coming soon?
We've already got one out. So we've got Vampire Weekend. Will be coming to Pinewood Bowl on September 27th in 2020. That's about a year from now. So they're going to do their Father of the Bride tour. Band from New York City, formed in about 2006. They play all different kinds of genres of music. They're really some world music, some indie, some alternative, very, very popular band. The buzz was great for this when we announced it. So we've got the first show already announced off. We've got some other ones that are ready to go, and we'll have another great season. And all of these things, none of this works without great support from Parks and Rec, from the city, and then certainly all the fans that come out and really enjoy seeing the shows.
And also our law enforcement officials too out there directing traffic and
We-
keeping everybody safe.
We work those guys hard, and they're there. Then they're there at every show, and all the shows at Pinnacle also. And it's a great group of people to work with. They keep us safe, and we keep people moving. It's so many different aspects of the town that come together. Fire and rescue are there, you know, traffic, and it is. It's such a great thing to work in a community where everyone really pulls together.
All right. Thank you so much, Tom. Off to the next 10 years.
Cheers. We'll be doing this. We'll see if we make it another 10, but I'm game for it, so let's try it. All right.
If that Cubs thing doesn't work out.
Yeah, you know, if I can't, well, I could just coach for manage for a couple years and then come back. So,
Yeah. Okay.
there
We'll
we
count
go.
on that.
All right.
All right.
Thanks.
Coming up, Jeff Mall returns for an event rundown. And during the break, we'll be looking at what's happening at the Lancaster Event Center and Rural Hall. Stay with us. Welcome back to Out and About. The celebration continues here with Jeff Mall, and we're going to start off by talking about a new event, only the second year for the Lincoln Veterans Day Parade.
Yeah, Lincoln's a great community for parades, and we're so happy that the Lincoln's Veteran Parade will be in its second year. This event will go down Capitol Parkway, actually, excuse me, from the Capitol down K Street. We are actually sponsoring this year. We believe in this event. We think
Wonderful.
it's a wonderful opportunity. 2 p.m. Saturday, November 9th. Great chance to honor veterans. The theme this year will commemorate the 75th anniversary of D-Day, as well as the Battle of Normandy.
And a big shout out to Antonio Marino for all his work on this. He kind of got the ball rolling, and he's a good guy to work with.
Yeah, Councilman Roy Christensen is another one kind of behind the scenes working on things. So thanks to everybody what they're doing with this. We look forward to being a part of this event this
Yes,
coming.
please get out there and support our veterans.
You betcha.
All right, Boo at the Zoo, the big one is back, the biggest trick-or-treating event of the year.
40 trick-or-treat booths as you wander your way through the zoo. The new and improved zoo with all of the new attractions
right.
and things to see. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers will be selling chicken finger meals with proceeds going to the zoo. Purchase the Cane's meal tickets in advance online or with cash the night of the event. You walk out of it with not just candy, but apples and coupons and certificates from different merchants. And I love taking the kids to this event. I wish they were younger because this was one of my favorite Halloween events. I guess I could still go.
You could still go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Up to
just big kid.
yeah, I like it. Give me the stuff.
And please remember, traffic around the zoo is going to be busy during those nights, so make sure you watch out for the kiddos and their moms and dads. All right, the Insane Inflatable 5K returns.
Fun and a dynamic 5K with 11 of the world's largest custom inflatable obstacles ever created. All new for this year, in addition to the Crazy Kids Inflatable Fun Run, which is a short run fun course designed for kids. A lot of fun going on at the Air Park Recreation Center with both events.
Have you done this before? The
I have
Insane
not.
Inflatables?
Sounds
I
fun.
wonder what they look like.
If they're that big, they ought to be fun and,
All
and
right.
competitive.
Okay, get out there, check it out. All right, we want to remind people the farmers markets are in their last month. Oh, boo-hoo,
Wow.
summer is officially over. The Haymarket Farmers Market's last day is October 12th. College View goes a little bit longer, Sundays through October 27th. And then Fallbrook still has one fall market left on October 10th, but gotta wait till next year, or we'll see if there's some fall markets around. Sometimes those pop up.
Yeah, and the booths are still very full and plentiful. I was by College View yesterday, the day before, and crowds, big crowds, lots of people over at College View. So get out and enjoy these before the cold weather moves in.
It must be a good year for pumpkins because I'm seeing them everywhere.
Yeah, we've got a few at our house already. So
They could try to keep them away from the squirrels.
I know.
All right. Capital Jazz Society every Monday night at Shea Soto. That is, again, their newest location. They've got Monday Night Jazz Jam. A couple of the groups they have coming up, Brian McCune, Andrew Janik. And then November 11th, they're having the UNL Big Band and Jazz Orchestra. That would definitely be worth seeing. So, and we have breaking news here on Out and About.
This just in.
This just in from Arts Incorporated. They've started a new series Thursday nights at Shea Soto. This is a little bit everything. It starts October 3rd is the very first one. Some of the groups featured are the Ed Love Quartet. Annette Murrell is coming up October 24th. That'll be a good one. One of my favorites, the Lightning Bugs, are coming up November 7th. That's always fun.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's brand new. They're going to be serving dinner that evening at Shea Soto, and all the music is free. So come on down. And thanks to Arts Incorporated for adding more music. You know, we have so many summer music series, and then once it gets a little cooler, things move indoors. So this is a great addition.
And you heard it here first on Out and About.
That's it. I just got the news release today.
I
so
love it.
We are on top of
Wow.
it. More jazz at First Lutheran on their First Fridays, and this is a lunchtime thing.
Yeah, this is a free professional jazz concert that draws 250 to 300 people, primarily seniors, each month. A great senior outing. The concert is 11:30 to 1. The first Friday each fall in October in the fall. And it should be a lot of fun. Lunch is available with a free will donation. Suggested donation of $6, which is really nothing. And a lot of this money goes back to make sure that people are never denied a lunch.
All right. Or you can bring your own lunch.
Yes, you bet.
It's just a fun way to celebrate the lunch hour.
Yep.
Right, Angels Theater Company is continuing its salon reading series at Turbine Flats, new location. Again, these are the first Sundays of the month. October 6th is a play called The Feast, and November 3rd, Blacktop Sky. These are staged readings of contemporary plays, and then there's a really fun discussion time after that. And Turbine Flats, great location for this, a great community partner.
Yeah, and the theme again this year is breaking boundaries.
All right. Flatwater Shakespeare presents Macbeth. This has gotten a bit of notoriety because an alert resident called about screaming at the cemetery, wanted the police to check it out, and it was just the cast from Macbeth.
Yeah, this is one of the clearest inspirations for Game of Thrones. Just a lot, like you said, witchcraft, warfare, a lot of screaming, I guess, right? But I tell you what, this is one of those destinations I've talked about. We talk a lot about the great theaters that we have in Lincoln, but the Swan Theater at Wyuka Cemetery is a hidden gem.
It is.
You drive by it all the time. It's off of O Street. Take a little time to go back in there, enjoy this production, and you will definitely want to be back this next season.
And the Flatwater Shakespeare's founding artistic director, Bob Hall, directs this one. He must have had them just practicing their screams all one night.
Auditions, maybe. I don't know.
I think the police were thankful that their visit to the cemetery ended well.
That's good. That's good.
Right. The Rocky Horror Picture Show is taking over the Tada Theater. This is the classic, the cult classic. We've got Frankenfurter, Riff Raff, Magenta, and of course, Brad and Janet.
They're squeaky clean sweethearts until they meet all these other people.
That's right.
And the Tada Theater, I always take my hat off to what Bob Brooks doing over there with his team. And you'll see a lot of the talent over and over again, just in different roles and different productions. And just, again, a great theater scene that we have right here in Lincoln.
All right. My pages are all mixed up. Now I'm in trouble. Yeah. But I think we're on Be More Chill.
Be More Chill.
Be More Chill?
That's
Is that
right.
where we are? Okay.
Jeremy
right.
here, day after day, stares at a beautiful Christine, the girl he can never have, and dryly notes the small humiliations that come his way.
Oh.
This is one of these shows that's been propelled on social media. It's gained an amazing following and has really been pushed by Instagram, Tumblr, Reddit, and
That's
Spotify,
right.
and it's grading over 170 million streams and counting.
Well, all is not lost for Jeremy. He takes a pill called the Squip, turns him into a really cool dude.
Kind of puts in a computer inside his head or something.
That's right.
I don't know what happens.
Anyway, this is going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you see it at the Lincoln Community Playhouse. Nebraska Wesleyan season continues. Women's soccer team called the Wolves. My niece was in this one.
Oh, good.
A while back, yeah.
Good. Warm up with 9 fierce girls on this raw, talking indoor soccer team and get a feel for the ferocity of their crisscrossing goals. This will be at the Miller Theater at Nebraska Wesleyan's campus.
All right. The Lead Center then as its rep season continues is bringing a classic to us, the beautiful Glass Menagerie.
One of the most beloved plays of the 20th century, Tennessee Williams' Glass Menagerie. A riveting story, an amazing story about Tom and Laura and a faded Southern belle Amanda. Should be a lot of fun over at the Lead Center. A lot of great things going on this season at the Lead Center.
Absolutely. The Nebraska Repertory Theater is there, and of course they're bringing in the big shows, and the big one this year is The Phantom of the
Dun,
Opera.
dun, dun, dun. This is so exciting.
This is very exciting. Cameron McIntosh's spectacular new production.
This is something that, it's a brand new North American tour. We're very fortunate to have it here in Lincoln, and the hard work of Bill Steffen and his entire crew. They are going to be at the Lead Center October 23rd through the first part of November. Lots of great production times, multiple plays per day on the weekends. I know tickets are still available, but they're going so fast, and we're just so fortunate to have this type of production right here at the Lead Center.
Bigger and better than ever.
Yes, of
That's
course.
That's what
the
they're
Lincoln
saying.
way.
All right. Get ready for Christmas a little early. Irving Berlin's White Christmas is coming to the Lead in mid-November.
That's right. The opportunity, this timeless movie, White Christmas, is adapted for the stage in a lavish new production that the New York Times says put on your wish list. Put it on your Christmas list for that, Mark. Full of dancing, laughter, and some of the greatest songs ever written. Again, so many great opportunities to see Broadway-type productions. Lincoln, Nebraska at the Lead Center.
And this was, you might remember the movie, goes all the way back to 1954.
We watched it this last Christmas a couple
Did
times.
you really?
I love it.
Yeah, it's really fun. It
Yeah.
should be great to see it,
Yeah.
a live production.
I know. It'll
live
be a
on
lot of
stage.
fun.
Well, Jeff, 10 years has flown by.
It has. We've really had a good time helping educate people in Lincoln on what's going on. Cheers to you.
Cheers to you.
Yes, an amazing time.
This is fine, sparkling cider, I must say.
Only the best right here at the city. And thanks so much for what you do and being able to talk about all the great things going on in Lincoln. So many people talk to me about, hey, I can't wait to see Out and About. It really puts us in touch with things we didn't know existed.
And they get to see a couple of crazy people.
One-hit wonders. We never have to do multiple takes. We are that good.
Let's not jinx it. All right.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Thank you, Jeff.
You bet.
We'll see you next month.
Sounds good.
And when we come back, we'll take a look at Lincoln's Symphony Orchestra season. And during the break, we'll check out what's happening at our museums and galleries. Stay with us. Welcome back to Out and About. In 1927, the Lincoln Little Symphony Orchestra performed its first concert at a local church. Today, the 2019-2020 season of Lincoln's Symphony Orchestra is underway. And joining me is Executive Director Barbara Zockley, who has been there almost 15 years.
I know.
Wow.
Time flies when you love what you do.
That's right, that's right. Well, thank you for joining us for our celebration
Yes.
today.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers to Out and About and LSO. Tell me a little more about the history of the symphony.
So the orchestra began in 1927. There was a small group of people. One of them was August Dietz from Dietz Music, and there are some other names that people might recognize. And they came together and formed an orchestra. And now it is, 93 years later, 94 years later, and here we are performing in the Leeds Center. We have a season of 10 concerts and a whole host of educational activities. And it's just been an incredible thing to watch the growth of the orchestra throughout the years, the growth of the support of the community. And I have to say, we could not ask for a more supportive and beautiful place to perform this music. And I think for me, an orchestra is a microcosm of community. So it's a whole bunch of people who come together, they're great at what they do separately, and then they set aside their own egos or their own ideas, and they come together and do something for the good of the group. And I think that an orchestra, a great orchestra, is a real relationship with the community at large. And so you come together, and there are people who might not be able to play music, but they support it financially, or there are people who teach music or who bring kids to concerts. And so it's a really beautiful symbiotic relationship with the community.
All right. Today, Symphony has about 80 musicians in it, but also guest artists have come in from time to time. And the list of performers from past years looks like a who's who of the
It's
music business.
Amazing. And we opened our season just this last weekend with Pinka Zuckerman, whose name is also on
Right.
this list. There are some other really great violinists. We've had Itzhak Perlman here. We've had in 1990, just when she was beginning her career, Renee Fleming sang with the orchestra. There are just, if you read, there's, also Tony Bennett, pop stars. Van Cliburn was here a few times, and those of you who were here when he was might remember he performed on the football field.
That's right.
They made a little platform for him and pulled out a piano, and I forget what he played, but he
don't
played
remember
something
either.
for the Husker fans on the football
I
field.
remember the
weekend.
picture in the paper.
Exactly.
That's wonderful. Now, one of the reasons that the symphony continues to be so successful is that you really make a lot of effort to make it accessible to everyone.
So a number of years ago, the orchestra, we thought about ways to be a partner with our community. So we don't want to be just something that's a hobby for rich, older, white people. right? And that's a lot of orchestras, that is what they have come to be recognized as. And we wanted to belong to our community and to be part of our community. And so we did some focus groups. We talked to a lot of people from a broad spectrum of the community. And we said, how can we really serve our community in the way that our community needs? And we did a number of things. The first thing was we changed our name. We added an apostrophe S, so it's Lincoln's Symphony Orchestra. It's tough to say.
Brilliant move.
But it demonstrates that commitment to be part of our community, and more than being part of it, to belong to our community. And so we asked our musicians, what can we do to be more a part? You know, our musicians live and work in this community. They buy groceries, they pay mortgages, they teach children music. And so they had a big say in a lot of the changes that we made. So now our season looks like we have 6 classical concerts, 2 family concerts, which are Sunday afternoon, 45-minute long. They're perfect for little kids. My little 15-month-old will be at the next family concert in October. We have puppets or actors, face painting, instrument petting zoo, like all sorts of activities for kids to do. And then we have 2 Pops concerts. So this year we're doing a movie music concert and we have our holiday concert. But that is just the tip of the iceberg. Beyond the stage, there are so many incredible things that our musicians have helped us to develop. So we have an incredible partnership with Lincoln Public Schools. They have a program under LPS called Family Literacy, and it's a program for immigrant and refugee children and their families. And so they do English language learning for parents and for children. They do job seeking skills and computer literacy, and they asked us if we would consider helping them with a cultural literacy component. And so for each of our 2 family concerts every year, we go visit all 11 of the family literacy sites. We talk to them, we make them feel welcome. And like I said, it is really all about that community relationship. And so for us, going and saying, we want to welcome you to our community, and this is what we have to offer, which is music, a universal language that can speak, even if your English is not great yet, but it helps them feel welcome in a community that is unfamiliar to them, in a place that might be scary. Mm-hmm. And because of the success of this program, it's just been so wonderful. We've expanded this to any human service organization that would like to bring their clients to concerts. And so we've worked with St. Monica's and Big Brothers Big Sisters and a number of other human service organizations, the Malone Center, to provide that same experience for their clients, because we do not want the orchestra to be scary or unattainable. We want to be welcoming and friendly. And so just bringing people to concerts and providing them the tickets and the idea, something that these clients might never have considered doing on their own, let alone have the ability to buy a ticket and get transportation there. So we work with the agencies to provide everything they need so that families can come.
All right, wonderful. You also do a lot of work with other students as well. 13,500 students a year are touched by Lincoln Symphony Orchestra.
You know, one of my favorite days with the orchestra, and this has been in place since the days that the orchestra was performing in the Stewart Theater, is that we bus every 4th grader in Lincoln Public Schools. And that's about, I want to say like 3,500 kids. And then another 2,000 from parochial schools, homeschools, and schools from outstate Nebraska within about a 150-mile radius. We even have a school from Kansas that comes every year. And we bus them in for a school day field trip concert. And let me tell you, 5,500 kids are the most honest audience that you'll ever perform for. They are enthusiastic and excited, and they are just right there with you. It's a wonderful, wonderful day. And we also have side-by-side concert, and for those of you who might not know what that means, we do it with the Lincoln Youth Symphony, and so their flute player gets to sit next to our flute player. So they rehearse ahead of time, our music director comes out and works with them and prepares them for the piece that we're going to be performing, and then they come and sit next to our musicians, and they rehearse with them and then perform on the concert with them. And we try to do it on a concert where there's an artist who could really connect with them. So like a few years ago, they performed on the concert where Midori was there, and they had a pizza dinner before the concert, and Midori came and joined them and did some question and answers and talked to them. And just the inspiration for these kids is really magical to work so hard and play your instrument. And there are a lot, I mean, piano is the like stereotypical first instrument, right? And you have a place this wide that if you put your finger anywhere there, it makes a lovely sound. Violin, not so much. Flute, not so much. And so there are these kids who have worked and worked and worked and worked and worked, and just the inspiration to see the next level that they could be at by actually sitting next to someone who's playing the same exact music they are is a really amazing thing.
All right. Well, you mentioned a little bit about the season and what it all includes. Let's
Yeah.
talk about the next 3 shows to come up. The first show, Superstar Strings, is gone and past.
It is
Sorry for
just-
anybody who missed it.
Just like 48 hours ago.
The next 3 coming up are Beethoven, Madcap Puppets, Britten and Brahms.
So classical music nerds will know that Beethoven's 250th birthday is coming up
That's
in
right.
2020.
We'll get
And-
another cake for
Exactly.
for
We'll get an enormous cake for Beethoven. 250 years is a long time. And not that he lacks for want of programming. I mean, orchestras play him, and the reason is that his music is so rich and so great, and you can
Yes, it
hear the
is.
Third Symphony 20 times and gather something new from it each time. But what we did is we programmed all 9 of the symphonies leading up to his 250th birthday. So this year we're in year 4 of that programming, and we didn't do it chronologically. Like we didn't do 1 and 2 the first year, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. Our music director paired them according to what symphonies offset each other well, and you know, Beethoven's odd-numbered symphonies have a different character than his even-numbered symphonies, and there are certain key like there's lots of different things. And so the way that it worked is this year, which is year 4, we're doing symphonies number 1 and 3. And everyone will recognize 3, especially the Eroica. So it's a great, great concert if you love Beethoven.
It's my favorite.
It's a fabulous concert. It's all Beethoven. That's all that's on the program. And then just 2 days later, so that's October 11, and on the 13th, which is a Sunday, is our first family concert of the year. And we are bringing back one of our all-time favorite guest artists, the Madcap Puppets. This is a little bit different. People might be used to, if you've come to these family concerts before, Madcap has these enormous, like 14-foot tall backpack puppets, and they have body puppets, and they do, you know. This one was choreographed with the Cincinnati Chamber Orchestra, and it's Pulcinella, so it's the story of the kind of hapless clown. And the puppets are a little bit different for this one. There's 5 puppeteers, first of all, so there's a lot of people on stage, and you'll get to just kind of follow the action. And Madcap Puppets are they're one of
I
our
just love
favorites.
puppets.
Exactly.
Puppets are cool.
Yeah.
And then the third one we want to talk about is Britten and Brahms, classical concert coming up in November.
This concert is going to be really, really special. It's a piece that you may never have heard. It's likely you've never heard. It's the Britten Serenade for tenor, horn, and strings. And so it's a French horn soloist and a singer, a tenor. And they kind of weave together to be kind of, so a concerto is where an instrument, or in this case 2 instruments, have a solo in front of the orchestra. And so it's kind of a conversation between the soloist and the orchestra, back and forth, but the soloists are really featured. And so in this case, there's some poetry, and then the 2 of them kind of weave in and out these very, very, very beautiful melodies with the full orchestra backing them. It's going to be lovely.
All right. One of the faces of the symphony besides you is, of course, Maestro Ed Polachek. How long has he been with the symphony?
This is last year, a year and a half ago, so I guess at the end of our 2017-18 season, we celebrated our concertmaster Anton's 30th season with LSO and our music director Ed's 20th.
Wow.
And both of them are just so, I mean, I believe that Ed knows more about the community of Lincoln than most Lincolnites. He loves to be, he says always that he's our greatest ambassador. He is on the faculty at the Peabody Conservatory in Baltimore. So while he doesn't live in Lincoln, he spends probably 3 months a year here.
And he's probably hugged every person in
He
Lincoln.
may have hugged
at
every
some point.
person in Lincoln, yes.
Yes. Well, please give him our best.
We will do.
Look forward to seeing him at an upcoming show. Now, you can find out more about Lincoln Symphony Orchestra at 402-476-2211 if you'd like information. Also, LincolnSymphony.com. You'll find lots of information about all the artists who will be performing this year. You'll find the history, you'll find that list of noted performers, and all about the symphony's outreach efforts. So, Barbara, thank you so much.
Thank
One more
you.
toast
One more toast
to LSO.
to a great
It's,
season. and
again,
to 10 years.
sparkling cider. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
with us, and best wishes for a great season for LSO.
Thank you.
That is all we have for today on Out and About. I want to thank all the guests that we had. If you missed any of the events, stay tuned. We'll be running a list again right after the show. Thank you for joining us for this special 10th anniversary edition, and we hope to see you out and about.